I'm trying to think how I want to frame this. I feel like I want to call this video "Just Sit in the Dark with Me." I will sit in the dark with you. You will sit in the dark with me. This whole app, it's like built on escape, right? I don't want to feel what I'm feeling. I want to feel something else. I don't want to be where I am. I want to be somewhere else. So where are we that we feel like we want to be somewhere else? Why don't we want to be confronted in this place? Why are there so much like entertainment that it was made to help us escape where we are? Where are we? And I feel like what's coming to me is this. And one of the natural byproducts, I guess, of being in darkness is this shame. This believed accusation that has come against you, gets come against me, that I'm lacking. There's something that happens that has been happening to me, where God has come into the darkness of where I'm at. And he has not rescued me from that darkness, but he has brought the light to where I am at in the darkness. And I think there was a time, like if you were to look at like this in stages or whatever, there is a world that is in darkness that doesn't know they are in darkness. Those are the ones that are blind, that do not know they are blind. But then there are ones, and I believe this is the beginning of light coming into the darkness, the beginning of having a relationship with God, right? You've heard like, when I get closer to God, this is how I feel more sinful, that sort of thing. Well, it's because that light is coming in, I believe, and exposing what you have really believed about yourself. The shame, the lack, those accusations that have had a place because you couldn't see yourself in the dark. So a lot of us are trying to get to a place out of there, right? We're trying to add to that place as a vehicle to get out of that place. I see it all the time. And I'm like, God, I don't believe most people with what they say about you, because what they say about you seem to describe their vantage point and how they're trying to get to another vantage point. Like we're trying to add something in this dark place, try to be strong in this place of weakness, and I'm like, I don't think it's going to work that way. But we would try to add something to this place because in this dark place we have been deceived to believe we are lacking. So I'm like, sit in the dark with me, and I will sit in the dark with you. And it may be super uncomfortable. Because it has been. I have so much market research of it being extremely uncomfortable. But back to the I feel like there's like stages or whatever. It's like there is a world that's in darkness that doesn't know they are in darkness, right? A world that is blind that doesn't know they are blind. But then there are those that now have this contrast of light that comes into the darkness. But I believe what that begins to do initially is expose how dark it's actually been. It exposes our position. It seems to be the uncovering. It seems to be this place where the light comes in and exposes our hiding places, so we're no longer able to distract ourselves with entertainment and trying to be over here and over there. I think when it is your time, it is your time, and you will not be able to outrun this. I would say this is the love of God. This is the determined love of the Father. I got this new stand or whatever, so I can use my hands more. So I'm trying things here. It's the determined love of the Father, right? Who is just who comes into that dark place. And you're like, you got to get me out of here. How do I get out of here, God? And you think we're going to pray our way out of this dark place, right? Or we're going to fast our way out of this dark place, or we're going to do whatever out of this dark place. And it's like you are responding like someone who is deceived to believe they are lacking. But I'm not going to add something to you in this way, but I'm going to bring an illumination into this dark place that shows you the truth that you were never lacking. And this will reverse engineer the dark place. It It will no longer be a dark place. It will no longer be a dry place. Because I came to where you are. But we all seem to be ashamed. Or there's this great amount of being ashamed about where we are in darkness. And all of these ways to get out of darkness. And all these ways to distract ourselves from the reality that we are in darkness. We don't want to be confronted in our weakness in this place. I understand. It's the most uncomfortable thing ever. It's like God came in and he did not give me a new way to clothe myself, but he took off my clothes. And I was used to being covered. And so I felt so self-conscious. He came after the shame. And he's been sitting with me in this dark place. And it seems to be the solution to this dark place, getting out of this dark place, is nothing I can add to myself, which seems to take me out of 99% of all the conversations I see on TikTok, all of the advice on TikTok, all of the things on TikTok, the conversations that people are having. My dog loves to snore whenever I'm making these. And I'm like, this is not going to do anything for me. This is no good for me. Why is this no good for me? I feel like the Lord's just like, no, it's this illumination of light that first comes into the darkness and shows you how dark it has been. But not to leave you there, but to show you of your need for me. To bring in a measure of light that reveals to you who you've always been to me. So you're no longer influenced, deceived to believe you are lacking. Because in being deceived to believe that you are lacking, you have picked up many sinful behaviors. This is why I look at these sinful behaviors and I'm just like, I don't believe what we have believed about these things. For one, to define something like we have defined it, I just think it has to do with vantage points. It has to do with perspectives. And that changes over time. So when someone feels extremely sinful, getting closer to God, to me, that's the light coming in and judging the darkness of their perspective. And it ends with, because there's probably a wrestling match, right? No one wants to be exposed in their hiding place. They're like sleeping dormantly. And then the light comes on and you're just like, I don't know what to do with that. What am I doing wrong? What do I got to do? What I got to do? What I got to do? Try to add something in that place. And the Lord's just like, be still and know that I am God. Meaning you're not going to rescue yourself out of this dark place. I'm coming to expose this hiding place to show you this was only temporary. I find you in darkness, but you are not darkness. Darkness is on you, but you are not of darkness. You are of light. And I'm like, is this even true? I don't know yet. All right, I'm discovering it. But the other way doesn't make any sense to me anymore. There will be no addition to this dark place. And in this way, I'm finding that I'm no longer ashamed about being where I am. I no longer feel the shame and this restlessness that's like, I need to get myself out. But that is where the accusations are coming, right? That continual pressure that's being put on me that seems to be a part of the dark place. I'm just like, oh my God, like, but the Lord's just like, this shame is not yours. This shame is not yours. It's just on you. Sit with me in darkness. Can you do it? By the grace of God, right? I think you will be brought to a place where you will have no choice. You will have no way to hide anymore. You will just be aware of the dark place that you were in and needing him to make a way. And the way out of darkness is for light to come in and give you a new understanding. That new understanding is going to come of yourself and God and life and everything. When the eye is full of light, or whatever, it's the lamp of the body. So your whole body will be full of light. Like, it's going to affect everything. So we're like, I feel more sinful getting closer to God. It's like, yeah, because that light is getting closer and closer and showing you just how much you've believed that you are lacking, to be ashamed of yourself, right? This way that we've covered ourselves with all of these behaviors, that accusation is like, you need to stop doing this, you need to stop doing that, you need to stop doing this. But it won't be about you stopping doing anything. It'll be about him.